Thank you, guys. So when I was in high school, I was in the Boy Scouts, and I loved being a scout. I made tons of great friends there. I worked really hard at it, and I eventually earned the highest rank of Eagle Scout. Yeah, yeah. Okay. But when you're a Boy Scout and you're a teenager, it's not something that you like to tell people. It's a little embarrassing. Like, for instance, me and the other scouts in school, we never actually said the words Boy Scouts out loud. We had a code name for it. We would call it Yacht Club. We were nowhere near water. But when you earn your Eagle Scout, you get to have something called a Court of Honor, which is a nice ceremony that the troop puts on for you. You stand up in your scout uniform and you take the Eagle Scout oath. Some mentors come up and say nice things about you, and then you get a cookie cake at the end. It's a nice thing. But when I was writing invitations to my friends and family to this ceremony, and being embarrassed about being a scout, there was only about 4 or 5 friends that I felt comfortable with inviting to this event without the fear of being made fun of. And I was like, man, this kind of sucks. Like, I worked really hard for this. I wish there was more people that I felt comfortable with inviting. And I don't know if you guys have ever written like a therapy letter, like a letter that you don't actually have any intention of sending it to anyone, but you just have thoughts and feelings that you want to get out on paper just to organize your thoughts a little bit. Well, I started writing a few more invitations. Specifically, I started writing some pretty lengthy invitations to all of the girls that I had crushes on in the school. And I was really letting it flow. You guys, I was very romantic. I wasn't gross or anything, but I was very poetic, I was not letting anything, I was letting it all come out, all my emotions, all my feelings. So then, by the end of the night, I had 2 piles of letters. I had one with 5 letters that were all had the names, addresses, that were stamped and they were sealed. I knew I was going to send those. And then the other pile had about 10 letters that had the girls' names on it, but there was no stamps, they weren't sealed, no addresses, anything like that. I go to bed. The next day, I go to school, and I'm in English class when I get a text from my dad. And it just says, "Hey Ryan, I found your letters, and we didn't have enough stamps. So I just took them to the post office and sent them myself. Love you, Dad." Super confused by this, I run to the bathroom and I call him. I'm like, "Dad, what are you talking about? I was only sending 5 letters." Turns out he found both piles. He thought that the letters in one pile were just unfinished, and we didn't have enough stamps. So instead of just going and putting them in the mailbox where he could have gone and grabbed them, he found the addresses of these girls in the school directory and then took them to the post office and sent them there. And I was like, "Dad, you have no idea. This is going to ruin my life. You have to go down to the post office right now and grab those letters." I hang up the phone, and about 10 minutes later, I get a text from him, and it just says, "I was too late. They're all gone." And my heart just sank. I was so upset I wanted to throw up. It's like the only thing worse than everyone you love knowing exactly what you think of them is knowing that they're going to find out in 3 to 5 business days. I walk into English class, and I'm looking around the room like, she's getting a letter, she's getting a letter, she's getting a letter. My next thought was like, I have to switch schools. Like, I can't stay here. This is all that anyone's going to talk about forever. But then a few days go by, and no one's coming up to me. No one's saying anything. And I'm like, maybe a miracle happened. Maybe the mail truck was driving by and then there was some kind of aardvark ambush and the mailman got out fine, but the mail was all destroyed. And guys, you can say what you want about the post office, but they are reliable. They all got the letters. And I was very lucky that eventually when they did start coming up to me, it was awkward. It was a lot of like, hey, got your invitation. I got family stuff. And I'm like, totally. Absolutely. I get that. Me too. But they were very cool with it. In fact, a lot of them thought it was very sweet. And the craziest part is when we actually had the Eagle Scout ceremony, a few of those girls actually came. So, love is awkward and it's weird, but every once in a while it's great. So that's what keeps us coming back. Thank you guys.